Okay, so, hi ho, welcome back to another Creepypasta Story video. Today Creepypasta I'm going to bring is called the Case of Martina Gomez, but before I get to it, I do want to say a few things. First off, the video is a one take, so if you do hear me stumble, mumble, fumble, and mess up my words, I'm sorry, this is a one take. And second thing, I do want to say, please consider using code GOONS at gamersubs.gg as code GOONS, and you can use that to get 10% off at checkout. But outside that, let's get into it. This Creepypasta is called The Case of Martina Gomez. Hagersall Center for Chronic Depression, DA. LLS Text Case Study Martina Gomez. Known illnesses: depression, paranoia, insomnia, panic attacks. The session director is R. Hagersall. So this is the preface. Our team met with 25-year-old Martina Gomez on the morning of October 1st, 2009, at the insistence of her mother. Mrs. Gomez reported an alarming increase in severity and duration of her daughter's panic attacks and paranoia, and received a referral to us from Cobalt Valley Medical Center outside of Houston. Our team included an American Sign Language expert, as Martina Gomez lacks verbal ability due to an accident suffered on her 18th birthday. For personal reasons, Mrs. Gomez declined our offer to videotape the session. So, this is the session notes. For ease of analysis of Hagersall Center faculty, Mrs. Gomez's sign language is formatted as verbal speech. The staff. Tell us a bit about what happened to your throat. Why can't you speak? Martina Gomez. I was 17 years old, and I used to sing. It happened not long after the school let out for summer, when I was planning to go out with my girlfriends and some boys to a party at a motel a few miles away. The staff. The official cause listed on your medical sheet says a fall outside a motel room damaged your throat. Martina Gomez. That isn't how it started. The staff. You never mentioned this to the doctors. You never wrote about it. You never wrote it out in your account of the incident. Martina Gomez. I couldn't write it until now. Thinking about it made my heart race, and I felt like I would die. You see? The staff. Explain what happened, then take your time. Martina Gomez. It happened to my grandmother too. She died when she was 18. My mother was orphaned as a baby. I didn't believe it when I first read her journals while I was recovering at home. My grandma was murdered. The staff. You mentioned this before, and according to your history, the medical records show your grandmother suffered a massive stroke resulting from a malformed artery. She died naturally. MG. No, you're wrong. It doesn't murder like you think it does. It takes what's inside of you and feeds on it. The same thing came to me. I saw him at a motel, standing in the dark at the end of the row of rooms. He followed me home. He followed me everywhere for weeks. The staff. A person did this to you? MG. It was Delgado. The staff. Is that his name? MG. That's what he is. Delgado. Thin and tall. Taller than anyone I have ever seen before, and his body was so tiny. You could put an ankle bracelet around his waist and his face. At this point, Miss Gomez suffered a panic attack of such severity that even senior researchers on our team expressed concern that she would require immediate transfer to a regional medical center. Our diagnostic machines were of no help, as they recorded Miss Gomez as lacking any blood pressure. Further transcribing was halted due to a tremor in Miss Gomez's hand. If you can, Miss Gomez. MG. It was nothing, you see. His tiny body, he had on a black suit and a white shirt, but he didn't even look human. He was too thin. You looked down and you couldn't tell where his legs ended. They just faded away. And his arms, they were so long. They were almost down to the floor, just blowing back and forth like they were empty sleeves. I told my friends, but they didn't see. They said I was too nervous about partying with boys. The staff. How tall would you say this man was? 6 feet? 7 feet? Miss Gomez pointed from the floor to the ceiling, a span of 9.5 feet. We asked our ASL volunteer to confirm she heard the question properly. Miss Gomez again insisted that the man was at least 9 feet tall. MG. In Grandma's journal, she wrote about him. He followed her for weeks. Only children can see him, only young people. He just stood there and looked at me, but he had no eyes. His face was white like paper, and his head leaned off to one side. He just kept looking at me, with his arms blowing like they were. The staff. Did you tell any? Further investigation was interrupted as Miss Gomez jumped from her chair and moved quickly to the corner of the room, where she curled up into a tight ball. She let out this piercing scream, which her mother later affirmed was the first sound she had made in 7 years. One of our junior researchers became so unnerved by the sound of her scream that he requested and received a medical leave for 1 week. MG. When I went out to smoke a cigarette, I walked out by the soda machine. When I looked up from lighting the cigarette, he was there. He was an inch away from my face. He had no mouth, but I still felt his breath. I could feel those sleeves running up the backs of my legs. Miss Gomez then began to shake, prompting our staff to restrain her. I tried to scream for my friends, but nothing came out. All I could feel was the breath on me. It was so thick, I could hardly breathe. It was blocking out the air from my lungs. I felt those arms grab me, and then everything went black. The staff. According to police report, your friends found you an hour later in the same area, unconscious. Is that correct? MG. Yes. It says here you nearly drowned on your own blood on the way to the hospital, and that your larynx was crushed and required 2 years of major surgery. Yes. But if this slender man kills young people, why were you left alive? You said he murders young people, right? MG. The motel party, it was my birthday party. I turned 18 a few minutes before I went out. The cigarette was going to be my first. And at this point of the conversation, Miss Gomez's mother grew upset and withdrew her daughter from the study. Further access to Miss Gomez has been blocked, leaving us no choice but to close the file on the case pending further case studies. Roger Hagersall, PhD, Lead Session Director, October 2nd, 2009. Okay, so that was the Case of Martina Gomez. Like everything, this creepypasta was made back in 2011, so that's like during the whole Slenderman craze still. But hopefully y'all enjoy this creepypasta. It is what it is. It's been a while since I actually recorded creepypasta. I think it's been like a week, so hope y'all enjoy this video. I don't have anything else to say. If you guys enjoy, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. It is free. I use code GOONS at gamersubs.gg. But last thing I do want to say, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye everyone.